Welcome to the Diecast Shepherd Racing and Collecting Channel, and tonight's edition of Brokebenny's Garage. As you can see, we're going to focus on 3 new cars tonight, and we're going to treat them here at the garage and put them up against the case. First, we have this 1968 Chevy Nova. Of course, y'all know that if you've been watching this channel long, that this is one of my very favorite castings, just largely because I used to drive a Chevy Nova. Mine was a 70, but not a lot of difference there. And this came from a local, I guess you could call it like a church flea market. And I found this because my pastor went to that same flea market and found this amongst a few other cars that he gave me. And he told me that there was a whole bin of cars over there, and you know I couldn't pass that up. And so that's why I went over there and got myself a mess of cars. They were 25 cents each. Now, anybody that knows what a mess is, well, in my world, that's 20 or more. In fact, I got quite a bit more than a mess of cars. And then this beauty right here. Oh, by the way, this is a Fusion, I believe, right? It is, yes, a Ford Fusion. No. It is a Ford Falcon. How about that? And not what I think of when I think of Ford Falcon, but there it is. And it's pretty blue Ford colors. We're going to treat it and give it a shot at the case. But then this beauty, now this one came from that bundle of cars that my dad had for me when I stopped at his house last weekend. And this, what is this? Anybody know? It's beautiful. A little scuffed up, but boy, oh boy. It is a 71 Buick Riviera. Yeah. And of course, being that it's a 1971 Buick Riviera, you know it's special because that's when I was born too. Just kidding. All right, let's treat them and get them on the track. All right, these 3 speed seekers are ready to go. They have been to Brokebenny's garage, as has every single car in the case. I accidentally knocked the case over and the cars went every which way, and I thought to myself, it's a good time to calibrate the case. So every single car in the case has been to Brokebenny's garage this past weekend, treated, and they have been re-raced. And this is the order of the case as best as I can discern it. Mr. Henry Stanislawski is back in the first slot with the Hershey's Funny car. Mr. Cardo Crafts is in the second slot, but not with his McLaren, which is over here. This mod that he made for me just came out of nowhere with some crazy good speed, and so now it's in second. Third is the Johnny Lightning Corvette. But the one that matters right now is our gatekeeper, which is the 71 Buick GSX. And that is who will be taking on the Nova to see if he can hold him out of the case. All right, it is a classic battle of classic cars. In the far lane, the 71 Buick GSX, it is the gatekeeper. In the near lane, it is the 68 Chevy Nova, the challenger. I switched around the way I do things. The challenging lane is going to be the near lane from here on out, at least until things change, because after all the racing I did, I realized that the outside lane runs a little bit faster. And so if you're going to get in the case, you got to win in the slow lane. That'll prove to me that you're actually faster. Alright, and our new system here is you get one race. If you lose in the near lane, you get a chance to earn a right for a second chance by winning in the far lane. If you win in the far lane, you get a second chance in the near lane. If you lose in the far lane, well, you lost your chance. Alright, let's race! Easy win for the Nova. Alright, the Buick GSX is going to get knocked out. Let's move the Nova up against the Matchbox Fiat. And go. Ooh, that's pretty close. The Fiat wins, but the Nova gets a chance to fight for a re-race. If that Nova can win in the fast lane, he gets a chance to try again in the slow lane. Go. He got him. So he gets a second chance. Alright, if the Nova doesn't win here, he gets knocked down to a slower car. Let's go. The Nova got him. The graphite's digging in. He gets the win. Alright, he beats the Fiat. Let's move him up. Let's move him up to a Ferrari. Alright, Nova versus Ferrari. Go. Oh, the Nova destroys the Ferrari. And as you can see, despite my best efforts, my case still seems out of whack. Oh well, this is just for fun, guys. Just for fun. If it's not fun, it's not worth doing in my world. Alright, we're going to go up against this Flight 03. Actually, I think aerodynamics come into play a lot more than people think, or at least I used to think, because I was very careful with that case. I just think some cars throw off bad air, and it affects other cars. And then other cars it doesn't affect. And so anyway, here we go. We got the Flight 03 going up against the Nova. Oh, the Flight 03 came around him. Alright, switching the lane, giving the Nova the chance to fight for a second chance. Go! Not gonna happen. Nope, the Flight 03 is faster. So the Nova loses here. He won here. That means he's either going to be in front of or behind. I ought to turn the cars the other way around, huh? This dumping A. Let's race him. Alright, ready, set, go. Oh, he's got him easy. Alright, so he's going to finish in front of the dumping A. And I've noticed I've picked up quite a few subscribers since the last time I really raced in the case here on Brokebenny's Garage. And for those of you that are kind of new to this, in my world, I don't necessarily try to get those fastest castings out there and see what they're doing. There's plenty of channels that do that. On my channel, for the most part, I try to take second-hand cars. In fact, every one of these cars in here is a second-hand car. None of them came straight out of a pack. And I try to, if they won't roll, I try to make them roll. And if they do roll, well, I try to make them roll a little faster. But and I want just to have a variety of cars on here, cars that you wouldn't normally see. Like, I mean, when's the last time you saw a spoiler sport in somebody's case, or a Formula 1000, or a Chevy Citation, which is actually kind of fast, you know. So this is for just to get a variety of cars that you don't normally see on people's channels. Hope you enjoy that. I just like to keep it fun. You know, I'm not getting paid, so I get to do what I want. That sounds pretty arrogant, and I don't mean it that way. It's just that's how I do things here on my channel. Hope you like it. Alright, next we're going to see if this Ford Falcon can get in. Now, is that real? Did Ford really make a modernized version of the Falcon? Or is this just something Hot Wheels did for... I don't know. I've just never seen it. But anyway, it's going up against this new Gatekeeper. I forget what it's called. Alright, looks like it's called a 57 Roadster. Metal base, metal body, tiny little wheels on the front. Kind of surprised it got in with the narrow wheelbase in the back. But we'll see, it may be gone after being challenged by this Ford Falcon. Alright, here they go. Closer race than I thought. The Ford Falcon's not too impressive, but impressive enough to move on. Alright, he beats the Roadster. Let's move him up against this Mercedes from Matchbox convertible. Mercedes versus Ford Falcon. There they go. Oh, the Falcon blows him away. Alright. Now, let's see. We'll move him up. Let's move him up against this little gray van. That's a Hong Kong made Hot Wheels. I believe it's called Inside Edition. And go. There they come. Oh, yeah, he got him. Alright, the graphite seems to be digging in. Should I do the Fiat? No, we did the Fiat already. Let's jump him up against this car here we affectionately call the Vegan, which is actually a custom V8 Vega. Alright, Vega, Falcon, go! The Vega holds him off. Alright, switching lanes, giving the Falcon a chance to beat the Vegan to earn his right to try again. Go! Oh, he did. He got past him. Okay, second chance for the Falcon to win in the slow lane. If he wins, he's moving on. If he doesn't, he's moving back. Oh, no, the Vegan says, nope. Not beating me today. Alright, so the Vegan shuts him down. Looks like he's got to race the Fiat after all. If he beats him, he gets that spot. If he loses, he gets this spot. Alright. Fiat versus Falcon, go! The Fiat gets past him. Alright, switching lanes, giving that Falcon a chance to earn his right for a second try. Go! They're off. He just barely got him. Alright, Falcon back in the slow lane, getting his last chance and deciding his place in the case. Let's roll! No. No, sir. The Fiat says, get behind me, Falcon. Alright, so the Falcon gets his spot there. Now we're going up against, or we're going to race this really pretty 71 Buick Riviera. I don't know how fast it is though. It's a pretty interesting matchup, the Riviera going up against that, I believe it's a 37 Bugatti. If anybody knows that I'm wrong, feel free to let me know in the comments. But that's our matchup. Let's do it. Alright, Bugatti and Riviera, go! Oh, I thought sure the Riviera was going to win that. Alright, Riviera in the fast lane, trying to earn his right for a second chance. Let's go! Oh, he did it. He gets his second chance. Alright, Riviera back in the slow lane. Can he pull it off? Or will he be denied a spot in the case? Let's find out. Oh, come on, man. I thought he had it. Well, he gave it his best shot, but somehow that Bugatti held on to his spot, even though probably the Riviera is a little bit faster. But don't fear, we will not put this car away forever. In fact, he's going to go straight into something that I call the Rough Diamond Racers Guild. If you don't know about that, you will in a few months. We're going to do season 3 of the Rough Diamond Racers Guild coming up maybe September or October. And maybe we'll get to see this guy. Alright. So the gatekeeper now is this 37 Bugatti. Pretty car, I believe that's a Hong Kong made car. And thanks for joining us tonight on Brokebenny's Garage. Join us on Thursday for the Straight Out of the Pack Track Attack, which is a Decide Your Ride. You can pick your car. There's still a few left. If you go back to 2 videos ago, you'll see the cars displayed and you can pick one. And I think there's 5 or 6 of them left to pick. And then we're going to race those cars on Thursday night, find out which one's the fastest. And just so you know, I do have a prize for the winner if the winning car is picked. All right. Hey, have a great night. Be blessed.